I've got a full-time carer who's had to give up their job because they love me. Give up their job to be my full-time carer. I don't sleep at night because of my disability. They need a spare bedroom to sleep or they won't be able to care for me. The state would have to provide somebody. That's why I need a spare bedroom. And this bunch of swine turn around and say, oh, we're going to cut your housing benefit. 70% of the victims of the bedroom tax, disabled citizens. That's how cold and cruel and callous these swine are. 100% of the victims were poor. That's what they passed last April. And in the same meeting, they then decided, why don't we help out the chaps and chapesses who are paying too much tax? Those on incomes of £150,000 a year and more, why don't we cut their tax from 50 pence in the pound to 45 pence in the pound? The result of that decision, 13,000 millionaires in Britain today pay £100,000 a year less in tax than they did last year. Brothers and sisters, bedroom tax for the poor, tax cuts for the millionaires, all in it together. My arse, we're all in it together. My arse. What we have is clearly government of the rich, by the rich, for the rich. That's what we have. And we never voted for it here in Scotland. But it was foisted upon us. Brothers and sisters, we have the chance next Thursday to say to that privileged minority, you can use all your media the way you have done. Abused this campaign by using the BBC and all the newspapers. Of the 39 newspapers bought and sold here in Scotland, one supports independence. And we live in a democracy. Yeah. We live in a democracy. I debated at Edinburgh College today with a guy called Vince who was arguing for a no vote for the Labour Party. And he tried to, honestly, he tried to say, oh, Tommy's got to watch because he's got millionaires backing the Yes campaign. And he talked about Jim McCall, he talked about that racist bigot, Brian Souter. And I said, well, okay, we may have a few odd millionaires that have strayed in to the Yes campaign. But can we examine the record of who's backing the No campaign? Can we look at the Millionaires United? I'm not just talking about the bigots of the Orange Order and UKIP, the BNP, Britannica Party, and all of those others. I'm talking about your Royal Banks of Scotland, your Lloyds, your BPs, your Shells. This is a millionaire-motivated campaign. They're trying to tell you we're better together. Brothers and sisters, they're better together. We are not better together. That's the We have to say loud and clear it means like this, brothers and sisters. Next Thursday is about the millionaires. Next Thursday is about the millions. That's what it's about next Thursday. It's about the ordinary folk in every part of Scotland who have been told for decades, you're no good enough, you're no smart enough, you're no rich enough, you're no big enough. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, we're going to answer that. Yeah. We're going to answer that next week because you see, we have the freedom within our hands to save essential services that they want to privatise. You see, the health service is up for privatisation right now in England. That's what's happening to it. You don't see it there. The Scottish media don't report it. They didn't report the Jarrow March that landed in London last weekend. Tens of thousands all across England marching. Why were they marching? Not against unemployment, but the original Jarrow March. They were marching against health privatisation. Why? Because the Health and Social Care Act 2012 has removed the duty and legal obligation on the Secretary of State for Health in England to provide free and universal health care to the citizens of England. It's gone. It doesn't exist any longer. They are now introducing a new market. 60 different private companies have been invited in to provide health care to the citizens of England based on personal insurance. PricewaterhouseCoopers, Royal Bank of Scotland, the Virgin Money. What do they know about health care? Bugger all. What do they know about making money? Plenty. That's what's happening. They've modelled it in the United States of America, where when you go to a hospital, they don't reach for your pulse, they reach for your wallet. That's what they've modelled it on. That's what they're doing in England right now. Education. By the way, as a socialist, fighting for independence, I've got to say to you, here in Scotland, the doors to our universities are open slightly wider than they are in England. I don't want to keep them slightly wider. I want them open much wider. And an independent Scotland, brothers and sisters, we've got to fight to ensure that every young person who goes to an FE college or a university gets a living grant to study at university or college. That's what we want. That's the increased accessibility we want. But right now in England, what do you have? Upfront tuition fees, £9,000 a year. £9,000 a year. They expected to go up to 11,000 within 2 years. At least here in Scotland we've managed to keep upfront tuition fees off the agenda for now. I'm fed up with these political ignoramuses, these economic illiterates, and this Bitter Together campaign who say, oh, don't worry about a no vote, don't worry about a no vote. The health service will be safe. Education will be safe. Because it's devolved to the Scottish Parliament. Brothers and sisters, don't they understand how it works? We pay our taxes in Scotland. We raise our revenues in Scotland. And then guess what we do with it? We go to Westminster. And then we can do to Westminster and say, hey, any chance of giving us some money back so we can run our health service and our education service? That's how it works. 19th September, we voted no. We could do to Westminster. Hey, by the way, we know you're privatising your health service and you've got big business in now, providing cancer care, children's care, elderly care. But see up the road there, we've got free prescriptions and free eye tests, and we've got free care for the elderly. We don't want to privatise our health service up the road there. Gonna give us the money. Gonna give us the money so we can keep our health service public.
It's cheaper than
and they're gonna say, sorry brother, you get, brother, nobody's come along here, Ian, nobody's come along here you tonight, son. You have your own meeting and people can come or not go if they want. I know you're a big no campaign and you're probably embarrassed your pal sharing a platform with a Tory tonight, but I don't want to hear it again. Go listen to George and Ruth Davidson. They're going to say loud and clear, you want extra money off us so that you can keep your health service public. You had your chance. You can sing. You can sing your Flower of Scotland and your Scotland games and your rugby matches. But when it came to the chance to run your own destiny and run your own country, you've bottled it. On your way, you can cut your health service the way we're cutting our health service down here. And when we say, oh, but wait a minute, we don't want to introduce tuition fees up the road. We know you charge them down here. Going to give us the money so we don't have to charge it up the road. They're going to say, aye, right. They're going to have a big sniff and they're going to smell the blood of a wounded animal. And they're going to come after us. They're going to come after our public services. They're going to come after our jobs. And see if you don't believe me. Here's a wee report for a union which is no supporter of the Yes campaign. Unison Scotland, public sector union. Read the report they produced in May. It's called The Cuts Don't Work. They tell you in this that of the cuts already announced by the condemned government, only 40% have been implemented. There's another 60% to come. 60,000 jobs. 60,000 jobs in the public sector in Scotland. Local government, health, education. That's what the future holds on the basis of a no vote. Brothers and sisters, people ask me sometimes, how quickly will we feel the benefit of a yes vote? I say 24 hours. 24 hours. Because when we vote yes on the 19th of September, we're going to be going to Holyrood and we're going to say loud and clear, we now have a mandate to stop any more austerity cuts, no more job losses, no more cuts in public services. We have the ability to save 60,000 jobs. That's what we can do with a yes vote. And by the way, we say loud and clear to our brothers and sisters in England, we are not abandoning the English working class. On the contrary, we're leading the English working class. That's what we're doing. Because when we got independence and we start to invest in health, invest in education, when we introduce a living wage instead of a poverty minimum wage, when we return the mail service to the public sector away from privatisation, when we take steps and measures that are about caring for the communities that we live in, rather than trying to cut them apart, the English working class are going to say loud and clear, hey, if it's good enough for the jocks, it's good enough for us. They're going to rediscover. They're going to rediscover the militant traditions that exist in all of England's history. And they're going to rebuild their organisations to say, hey, the neoliberal economic claptrap on offer for Westminster isn't the only show in town. We will show concretely, materially, that there is an alternative. By the way, that's not the only freedom you've got. You've got the freedom to make sure there's never a Tory government in Scotland again. You've got the freedom to save your health service. You've got the freedom to save education. You've got the freedom to return the mail service to the public sector. You've got the freedom to get rid of the poverty minimum wage and introduce a living wage. But here's another freedom you've got. Here's a freedom might not mean the same to you as it does to me. Maybe it's because I've been arrested that many times out of trying nuclear submarine bases. That's where the handcuffs come in, by the way. Here's a freedom. Here's a freedom, 19th of September. Wouldn't it make us proud collectively on the 19th of September to be able to stand up and announce to the world, we're different, we're different. See, instead of spending billions of pounds on weapons of mass destruction, immoral, illegal nuclear weapons, we've voted yes because we want to spend that money instead on schools and hospitals and doctors and nurses. That's what matters. That's what matters. Just in case there's anybody out there who thinks, oh, but Tommy, should we not keep our nuclear weapons? Just in case anybody threatens us. You misunderstand. We don't have retaliatory nuclear weapons. We've got first strike nuclear weapons. See if we don't intend to obliterate part of the world. Why the hell would we keep nuclear weapons, brothers and sisters? Why? And just in case there's any shadow of a doubt, we don't want to move nuclear weapons. We want to decommission nuclear weapons, brothers and sisters. That's what we want to do. The Ministry of Defence has already done feasibility studies. They looked at Plymouth. They looked at Portsmouth. They concluded that the collateral damage that could arise in the event of an accident meant that it was too high a cost to pay. So they'll just keep them in the Clyde. The expendables, that's what they call us. There may be a gap, there may be a time gap between us expelling nuclear weapons from our shores and them actually being decommissioned. Where are we going to put them? I've got an idea. There's a big river down in London.